What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of my hip hop review. This your boy Reg in the building. Oh boy, this motherfucking album right here. This shit. I can't talk to my mom. I talk to my diary. Scarface, the diary. This is his third studio album that was released in 1994 on Rap A Lot Records. Originally, I was going to do a live review on this album today, but I had a lot of stuff to deal with today, which I'm doing, so I'm just going to just knock this over the park. Pretty much, I'm also going to do me try to ask. We're going to do a review on his group Face Mob with the album The Other Side of the Law in 1990. That was released in 1996. So hopefully, I'm going to do that one at 10 o'clock. So stay tuned on that one. But back to this album. This was released in 1994, like I mentioned. Singles album was known for. It only came out with two singles, and those are I Seen a Man Die and Hand of the Dead Body. Producers include Scarface, Mike Dean, N.O. Joe, and Uncle Eddie. This is actually the first album that he worked with Mike Dean in and stuff like that, which Mike Dean, he's pretty versatile. He worked with like a lot of artists, like, he worked with Pac, he worked with Jay-Z, Weeknd, he worked with Devin the Dude, of course. Like, he's pretty versatile and shit like that. So, yeah, he's a very dope producer. And like the only guest appearances on this album are Ice Cube and Devin the Dude. Devin the Dude, you guys should know who he is. One of the most abstractual figures in hip hop history, if you ask me. Um, he was part of like Oz Squad. Like, he's definitely like a Southern pioneer, iconic figure in Southern hip hop. Sorry about that. Like, handling something right quick. But anyway. Alright, so as a matter of fact, I'm putting this on vibrate because I don't want that noise bothering me. Alright, so after the release of The World Is Yours, pretty much the next year he didn't really waste no time. He was getting popularity. He was still like, getting popularity. Like, got the cover of The Source, as y'all can see right here, shit like that. And, he was like one of those southern rappers that, like 1994 was really the year when, a lot of southern hip hop was definitely getting more embraced at that time. Like, Jermaine Dupri, Atlanta, with the Outcasts and stuff like that. And of course, the Ghetto Boys, it's themselves already had a following in the West and East Coast audiences and shit like that too. And so Scarface dropped this album in 1994 and whatnot. And I'm not gonna waste any time. This is my favorite album from Scarface. To this day, it's still like one of his best rawest forms. Like, it got perfect rating in the Source and Double XL. I mean, yeah, man. Like, they really stepped their game of production wise, lyricism wise, and whatnot. Album cover is grimy itself. Just has like a fucking diary and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just fucking grimy as fuck. And yeah, just a shout outs right here too. Yeah, man. Like, I really was waiting like years just to get this album so I can review it and shit like that, because this is like one of those albums that definitely this is one of those albums that definitely like stood the test of time when it came to hip hop and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like I know a lot of people, they say it's either this album or The Fix, which I'm going to talk about that album very soon, sometime maybe July, August. Stay tuned on that. They say that's the best album. And yeah, this album, like I said before, let me just get into the review right quick. You know what I'm saying? All right, so track number one is the intro, where it pretty much like samples of course, the Scarface intro, the movie Scarface and stuff like that, which a lot of rappers and producers have sampled that over the years. Like, everyone knows on Mobb Deep, some God Part 3 and stuff like that. So I don't know if this was really like one of the first ones. Somebody correct me on that, but yeah, it is what it is. And so next track, The White Sheet. Love this fucking track right here. This track is definitely a very strong banger. He just going in on like this motherfuckers who want to step to him and shit like that. Yeah, man, this is a very dope track. This is one line where he's like shouting out Tupac, but it was like a clever line. He said, let me pull it up, because that's like probably like the best line on the song right here. He said, I'm like Pac, I'm making mail but still live that thug life. Like, because Tupac, of course, was in that movie Poetic Justice. Um, and of course, he had that group Thug Life at that time too, which I reviewed like that album. I believe it's about 3 years ago. Yeah, that's a very underrated album and stuff like that. I need to talk about the Are You Still Down album. I need to talk about that one day. That's probably the only Pac album Pac posthumous album I would discuss and shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. That's the fucking White Sheet. Track number 3, No Tears. Again, another dope song. Vintage Scarface right here. This song low key reminds me of Ice Cube's Dead Homies in a weird way. How the just a little bit how the beat and just the flow is and stuff like that. Dead Homies was from the Kill at Will EP. Um, Stay tuned on that America's Most Wanted review possibly next month and shit. Yeah, man. And No Tears was actually inspired by a true story about how one of Scarface's friends died in '92 and stuff like that. He got shot. She got shot. I think he had some incident with his girl and stuff like that too. So, and yeah, it's just very crazy. It's a crazy story. I don't want to get too much into detail. Well, you know what? Fuck it. Let me just. So pretty much like his girl, like homeboy's girl was shot and stuff like that. And next, he got him Scarface's homeboy got shot too. So yeah, man. And the murderers, they're definitely like serving time. They're serving time, and it wasn't on this case. It was on another case too. So yeah, man, that shit's crazy right there. Track number 4, Jesse James. Another dope track right here. And like you just Jesse James, you guys should know who he is. One of an outlaw, murderer, stuff like that. And Scarface is pretty much like comparing himself to Jesse James. Just saying, don't fuck with me, not to be fucked with, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is definitely like one of my favorite tracks off this album too and stuff. Like he just definitely goes in, like does not give no fucks. Like just the line when he says, "Wait, this motherfucker got me bent. I got to break because this nigga got done put his hands all up in my face. He best to chill before I hit him with this mace." Like just so fucking ill on the mic and shit. Track number 5, G's. Very, 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 very cool song. Just Scarface on his gangster tip with this track right here. Um, yeah, I love that. I love that beat too. That beat was pretty dope. Next track, I Seen a Man Die. My favorite song off this album, and pretty much this is probably among my personal favorite Scarface songs too. Like this is storytelling at its finest. I know I say that a lot with certain Scarface songs, but this song right here is so very, 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 very good track right here. And it's like a very sad, tragic song in a way. And because the song is talking about, it tells us about how this guy, he got out of prison and stuff like that. And he really wants to change his life around, starts trying to do right, trying to do right and stuff. But then, he ends up getting caught in some hood beef from the past and they fucking killed a nigga. And so, at the end of the song, he's in a hospital bed trying to fight to live, but it's like there's no use because he just felt like he just done what he had to do, and of course he passed away. Like I said, very, very dope track. Oh my fucking god, where do I even begin? Like, first of all, the music video to the song is very ill, like very creepy as fuck too. Like, Scarface pretty much plays like a Grim Reaperish kind of character and some shit. I love the line when he says, "Imagine life at its full peak, then imagine laying dead in the arms of your enemy. Imagine peace on this earth when there's no grief. Imagine grief on this earth when there's no peace." Everybody's got a different way of ending it. And when your number comes for souls, then they send it in. Now your time has arrived for your final test. I see the fear in your eyes and hear your final breath. Like, damn, that shit's deep as fuck. And then once you get to like the third verse, it's pretty much like it reminds me of Menace to Society. That last scene when Kane gets shot, and it's like he's speaking, like he's narrating the whole movie, but the twist is that he's actually dead. That's the twist and stuff like that. So it kind of reminds me of that, how he's getting his life decision and he slowly starts passing away. And there's this line where he says, "You start your journey into outer space. You see yourself in the light, but you're still feeling out of place. So you're standing in the tunnel of eternal life, and you see the ones you never learned to love in life." Like that, and again, another very powerful line right there. Because it's definitely, you just had to have that out of body experience, and your soul just carrying out of you and shit like that. And then you see all the people you wrong, all the people you want to have unfinished words to say with them and stuff like that. Like, of course, I never been dead, like never been dead, but I'm just really, it's just what I think about, what I'm saying, very interesting track right here because, sometimes like one does think about death, and death would come, God forbid, death would come and shit like that, and people would have to be prepared one way or another, you know? And so, yeah, man, that's fucking Scarface the Diary. That's Scarface the Diary right there. Excuse me. I Seen a Man Die. And another thing about this track right here, Scarface didn't even write this track. That's the crazy thing. He did it on Top of the Dome, which, again, another like fucking genius right there, And ironically, that song was the next song because Jesus playing right now and shit. So the next track off this album, One. Pretty solid track. It it uses the same sample as letting them know from The World Is Yours and stuff like that. Which one thing I didn't really notice re-listening to this album was that it does kind of reuse a couple of tracks production wise from The World Is Yours, but it is what it is on that part. Yeah, pretty solid track. Track number 8, Going Down. An interesting track right here. He's pretty much talking about he's having an affair with his homeboy's baby mama. The beat was produced by the beat itself was produced by all the producers like Anno Joe, Face, Dean, and Uncle Eddie. It's a beat I never would expect Scarface to rap on. It's like a very dun 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 dun. Like that melody itself is so fucking ill and shit like that. And then Scarface, singing the chorus like, "Please excuse my attitude. Sorry if I'm being rude, but I've got something to say to you. Hoping you won't lose your cool. I wanna sneak you out to play with me. You can spend the day with me and we can ride and see the sights. It's going down tonight." Like, and it's a very dope sample. They use it from this this group from Germany and shit like that too. So very interesting song right there. You know what I'm saying? Um, Track number 9, One Time, which is basically a skit of the police talking and whatnot, and which us leads to Hand of the Dead Body, featuring Ice Cube and Devin the Dude. Yeah, this track right here is a very iconic song right here, very controversial, because he's talking about censorship in hip hop. Because around that time, gangster rap was really getting like bashed by the media and whatnot. You had C. Dolores Tucker attacking Death Row Interscope Records and whatnot. Um, yeah, man, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy too. Kind of crazy too and shit like that because I was reading this interview. About track and Complex where he pretty much was talking about the making of pretty much the making of like this album and the song and stuff like that. And around that time too, in '94, Biggie was very popularly known as Ready to Die and whatnot. And so they were kind of worried about, because him always talking about death, and Biggie himself had the whole album was ready to die. And even Face himself said that he really want to work with Big and shit like that. Because like New York at that time, like the New York at that time, they were very in particular about collaborating with a lot of people from other coasts, especially like 94, 95. Like those are like the initial years of the whole East Coast, West Coast, and shit like that. But I just found it kind of interesting and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So like with this track right here, both Face and Q went in. I love Scarface's first verse on this track. It's still to this day one of my top 5 verses. Like, we got this whole motherfucker on a mission. Now the whole entire world's gotta try to come up with a quick decision. They claim we threats to society. And then they're calling on the government to try and make somebody quiet. Like, and that, like, again, very, very, very dope line because, the powers to be always want to go out for those, who are very outspoken and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, he mentions like Tupac in this song, like the line, "Gangsta Nim Spice One" or "Tupac never get a gun to me," and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And he's pretty much saying in the second verse, which is not, in my opinion, not as good as the first, but at the same time still is very important narratively, was when he had a line where he says, "While listening to Brad, David gets pissed and kills his dad. David Duke's got a shotgun. So why you upset because I got one?" And for all of my cats who don't know who David Duke is, he is part of the Ku Klux Klan in Louisiana and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And he's pretty much saying like in that verse how the media can look up to all these Western movies, the KKK, the police and shit like that, especially with what's going on today. They can admire those for gun rights, but when you have gangster rap talking about their personal influences and shit like that, trying to warn those not to fall in that lifestyle, it always becomes a fucking problem and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So definitely love that verse, and of course he had to end it off with Ice Cube, who just fucking goes in on. There's so much quotables on this fucking verse right here, like "Wanna kill this house nigga Don Cornelius." Cause at that time, Don Cornelius had just left Soul Train like a year prior to like '94 and shit like that, and he already made it known that he was not a fan like of hip hop like that. You know what I'm saying? He already let it be known and shit like that. And so with that being said, like a lot of rappers around that time, they weren't really fucking with Cornelius like that. That's another story for a different day. But over the years, Cube definitely respected Cornelius and all of his work and shit like that. Like when Don Cornelius passed away, he just said, "Rest in peace, love and soul, Don Cornelius," and I quote. Another dope line was when he said, "Isn't he a hoe to the third degree? Who me? I'm a Jew who like to scrap a lot, down with rap a lot, and I can't stop, won't stop. So fuck Bill and Hillary, Ice Cube, there ain't no killing me." And again, another dope line there too, because yes, they're talking about that Bill and Hillary Clinton, because around that time too, not only were they like talking about censoring hip hop music around that time too. I mean, no. I'm getting them confused with Tipper Gore, but there were the Clintons. As much times as like the black community like to praise the Clintons and shit, they were pretty much responsible for the rise of mass incarceration during like the mid '90s and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, like whether it was mostly Bills and Hillary's like stuff like that, there was mostly a rise due to them and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like I said, I like the Clintons sometimes, but I always have my side eye against them and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's like one of my favorite tracks off this album and shit like that. And they picked the right songs for singles on this album. I kid you not, man. This is a very phenomenal album right here. So next track we're going to talk about Mind Playing Tricks '94. Yes, you heard me right. This is actually the sequel. Let me probably like the quasi sequel of, of course, My Mind Playing Tricks on Me off the Ghetto Boys classic "We Can't Be Stopped" album, which I reviewed earlier this year. Very dope album, classic. Um, and with this one, you know, like it's like with Scarface, he's a lot more positive, like a lot more positive and shit like that when it comes to this track right here. Like he's just being more watchful of his surroundings and not as crazy as he was like in like the first Mind Playing Tricks on Me and shit like that. Because in case y'all saw that review or didn't, the Mind Playing Tricks on Me was originally supposed to have been a Scarface solo track and stuff like that too. So just a little food for thought. And the last official track is the Diary, a very solid track where you know Scarface goes in on the fucking mic. Uh, yeah, man, very dope. Eno Joe definitely did his thing on that one. And the outro is pretty much like playing the Scarface theme, but ends it off with Scarface's laugh and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? All right, very dope album. This is a classic album. Um, what more can I say? This album right here definitely was really solidified Scarface as one of the leading MCs and shit like that. Yeah, man, like this is definitely one of the rawest hip hop albums. Like storytelling wise, it definitely shed a light on just like the gangster shit, but at the same time, he definitely like steps out of his territory. He definitely steps out of his territory. Talking about fucking around with his baby mama and shit like that, and talking about the censorship of hip hop and shit too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, he definitely stepped up his pen game on this one too. Well, his pen game has always been amazing. So I'm not even gonna. I don't even want to know why I said that shit, but yeah, man. This album was reissued on vinyl by Rap A Lot 2K. So if y'all can find it, must have in your collection. It shouldn't be too hard to find though. So yeah, that's Scarface with the Diaries. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure y'all follow me on Twitter at RealReg1. Follow me on Instagram at MCRegMusic. And make sure y'all donate to the Patreon if y'all want to see some albums reviewed. Peace.